Welcome. You are listening to the Alpha Beta Chronicles, presented by the Queer Hermit. Stories of loyalty, strength, and the bond between Alpha and Beta. Settle in and enjoy your time with Dad. Shelter from the storm. The wind shifted at dusk. Robert noticed first, not with his eyes, but in his bones. Years on the docks had taught him how to feel weather long before it arrived. The air grew heavy, and the line of clouds on the horizon carried the kind of weight that promised trouble. He glanced at Donnie, who rode slouched and unaware. The boy still didn't read the land. "We've got a storm coming," Robert said, voice steady over the wind. Donnie looked up, squinting at the sky. "Don't look so bad to me." Robert didn't argue. A true alpha didn't need to convince anyone. He simply acted. "Off the trail," he said, turning the horse toward a line of rocks and scrub brush that rose like a jagged spine from the plain. "We'll find cover." By the time they reached the outcrop, the first drops were falling, cold and heavy. The wind cut through their coats, and thunder rolled low in the distance. Robert dismounted and scanned the rocks until he found what he wanted, a shallow overhang, just deep enough to block the wind and rain. He checked it first, methodical as always. No snakes, no animal scat, no loose stone. Then he nodded once. "This will do." He guided the horse under the lip of the rock, tied it off, and started unpacking gear. Donnie followed clumsily, already shivering. "You didn't bring a tarp?" Robert asked without looking up. Donnie hesitated. "Didn't think I needed one." Robert's jaw tightened, but he said nothing. Instead, he tossed the boy one of his spares. "Get it around your shoulders. Then help me with the fire." The storm hit full before nightfall, sheets of rain and wind that howled through the rocks. Lightning turned the sky white for split seconds at a time, and the thunder seemed to shake the ground. Inside their makeshift shelter, the fire sputtered but held. Robert's calm filled the space as much as the flickering light. He moved with quiet certainty, feeding the fire, checking the horse, keeping the small camp orderly even as the storm raged. Donnie huddled close, the tarp tight around his thin shoulders. He watched Robert, equal parts nervous and comforted. "You ever scared?" he asked over the wind. Robert looked at him, dark eyes steady under the shadow of his hair. "Fear's just a warning. I listen to it, then I act." Donnie chewed on that, the lesson sinking in through the crackle of fire and storm. It wasn't about pretending to be fearless. It was about control. About knowing that when the world turned rough, a man like Robert didn't flinch. He anchored. Hours passed, the storm showing no sign of mercy. When the wind shifted and blew rain into the shelter, Robert moved without hesitation. He adjusted the fire, dragged Donnie closer, and set his own coat around the boy's shoulders on top of the tarp. "You'll freeze if you don't share heat," he said simply. Donnie stiffened at first, pride catching in his throat. But the warmth of Robert's presence was undeniable. The older man wasn't soft or coddling. He was solid, unmovable, a human wall against the storm. For the first time since leaving Boston, Donnie felt safe. Not just dry, not just warm, safe. Outside, the storm howled like it wanted to tear the earth apart. Inside the small shelter, firelight flickered against rock and skin. Two men sat close, one resting without shame, the other keeping watch without complaint. The Alpha held the world steady. The Beta leaned and lived. Thank you for spending time with Dad in the Alpha Beta Chronicles. If you enjoyed this audio, please like, share, and comment. Come back next week for the next chapter.